Hello, and welcome to the next section of Adobe Live today. I'm Victoria Seamer. Some of you might know me as Witchoria, and I am here with Javier Garcia, who is a design director, and we're going to get into some fun stuff today. Do you want to chat a little bit about yourself?
I work in San Francisco at a company called Hatch, and my coworkers are probably watching me. I've been a designer for over 10 years, and
Awesome. And so when I was stalking you, as I had to before this, I saw that Hatch does a really cool thing every year with an egg dye design.
Yeah.
Which I thought was really neat. And is it like one person at the company like wins the design, or is it a competition?
No, it's just kind of assigned to whoever has time or
that's so fun. Yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah, this year was pretty fun because we got our boss to go down to designing again. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Maybe we can pull up your Behance and just show people some of what you're doing before we get into what we're doing today.
Sure.
And hello, everybody. I can't tell if this thing is it updating?
I will.
Oh, okay.
Screen is super tiny.
Sweet. Oh yeah, I see it over here on the big screen. Awesome. So do you have any favorites you want to like pop up? Anything you're super excited about working on? I really love the wine and the balance bar. And this beer, obviously. Beer and wine are like, of course I'm going to pick those.
Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff that I like working on. I don't know, whichever you want to go through, I guess.
Is this the most recent one?
Yeah, this is the most recent project I uploaded. I worked on it at Hatch. And yeah, we just kind of, the project, this bar has been around for a while and it was pretty outdated. And we just kind of...
Do you have a picture of it from beforehand too, so we can kind of see the transformation?
I don't have it.
What's going on? Where are you guys all from?
We can look for it.
Oh, Germany. We've got one from Germany. Who else is here? Ghana. Whoa. Wait, is it past your bedtimes? It's always exciting to kind of see the before and after of things, especially because it is like pulling teeth to get brands to update their designs.
I think it looked somewhat like this.
Oh, wow. That looks very different.
Yeah, so it's kind of a 90s kind of nutritional bar and just really needed an update. And they were like moving more towards like a candy taste. And they were updating their recipe and all that. So they kind of needed something that kind of looked a little bit more candy. Bright, and so we went this kind of indulgent.
This is beautiful. Now, is this actual photography or is this like a mock-up in Photoshop?
No, it's photography. Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
We just had a little bit of fun just shooting.
It's really beautiful.
The patterns and like.
Whatever. Oh, we got Canada, South Africa, Chicago, Colorado. What's up? All over the place. Yeah, these are beautiful. I love that, like, once you've designed something, you get to go through and actually also take it to that next level by finding interesting ways to present it in a different, like, in a context.
Yeah, I think, I just try to keep it simple because the package is already kind of busy. So.
Yeah. All right, let's look at one more, and then we'll... so are we going to get into doing... I see a lot of package design in your portfolio, and that's what we're going to get into today.
Yeah, we're going to be doing a coffee...
I'm getting hungry. I had a breakfast buffet at the hotel today, and I have absolutely no self-control when it comes to unlimited breakfast foods, so I am not hungry at all. Maybe let's take a look at... Oh, this was cool, too. The Nickel Labs was interesting to me just because it's also... work like that you would think would be more boring, but it ends up being, because it's for a bank, right? And it ended up being really, really beautiful. I also like this little gif at the top.
It's a bank idea that was kind of geared towards kids and their parents, and their moms, I guess.
So is this like nickel? Is it like they save like in a jar? Is that the kind of
concept? I mean, I think the name they came up with comes from that idea, and we just kind of developed this.
I like this iconography. Wait, let's look at this. Did you do the iconography by hand, or did you use a kit?
I did a little bit of that.
Nice.
And then the logo is just kind of inspired by the building blocks, and that's kind of how we came up with this.
This is a beautiful app, especially. Oh, look at that.
and yeah, so there's a credit card that goes to the kid and the parent, and they can the mom can kind of monitor what he's doing, and he can also learn from that. So.
And this is all also photography as well?
Yeah.
And do you do that in house?
This was a project I worked on a while ago, freelancing, and I shot everything.
And what do you shoot it with? Like, what kind of camera are you working with?
I have a Canon 5D.
Yeah, it's funny how, like, when I was in school, I didn't realize how much you're going to need photography as a graphic designer, because once you're finished, you're going to have to find a way to present it in your portfolio. So 9 times out of 10, you're going to have to end up learning photography also.
And I think I've always had this kind of passion for photography, too, just to kind of shoot on the side. But, right these days with, all this... mock-ups available that you can just buy. It's so easy to use, so you don't really have to shoot your photos. But
there's like a tangible quality to it, because you can see the grain in the papers on the zoomed-in crops, and that's not there with the mock-ups. Yeah, I mean it is somewhat, but I can usually tell upon further inspection.
Yeah, so it's just something I like to do, just shoot my own projects. And
did you make the abacus?
That's actually IKEA abacus.
Oh, really? But did you just change the colors?
Yeah.
In post?
Yeah.
Or did you actually paint them?
No.
That's awesome. All right. Well, let's see. What are we getting into today?
Oh. So.
Is this a brief?
It's a brief. Yeah, it's a little brief I wrote. So Eclipse is a premium coffee brand established in 2013 that focuses on crafting coffee and pairing it with unique mystical experiences. As a supporter of the local culture, Eclipse hosts and sponsors many forms of art. So I thought it'd be cool to kind of, have this.
And so this is like on a day-to-day as a freelancer, this is like something you'd get handed that you have to work from.
Yeah, usually I get handed.
And in this situation, do they have any branding at all, or is this like starting from scratch?
We're starting from scratch,
Awesome.
yeah. Sometimes they have like a logo that sometimes looks good or sometimes looks really bad, but so in those cases we try to propose something that's better, and that doesn't always work.
Of course.
But,
It's awesome you wrote the brief. So this is also a great exercise for those of you that are doing things like this. If you are starting from scratch, even if you're doing a pretend project, or if you are working with like a newer company, having a breakdown of a brief like this is a really great way to organize keywords and thoughts about what a brand should represent for when you're creating the identity. I like this dark, mystical, which starts to make me think it's goth, but then artistic, honest.
That would be pretty cool, actually,
coffee.
make it a goth brand.
Gothy.
But yeah, I just thought it would be cool to have this like little shop that kind of supports and sponsors artists, from the local community, like, I don't know, skateboarders or
cool.
Painters.
So that's the 19 to 37-year-olds with strong cultural and artistic views.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay,
so,
what else we got here?
Let's see. They're a small shop with great local following base. Currently, their coffee is only sold at their shop, and they're looking to expand and distribute other local stores and potential growth to other cities and states.
Awesome.
So the name Eclipse is rooted in ancient Latin American cultural beliefs. Like eclipse were seen as a kind of negative connotation, believing that the gods were mad at them and depriving them from light. So I thought it would be kind of a nice twist to because they were great astronomers, and they can.
So you think you might have like a space theme?
It's definitely space.
I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm obsessed with outer space.
Oh, me too. I love aliens.
Did you know that all of the NASA photos are public domain?
I think I've heard things like that. Is that
most of them.
Is that a recent thing, or is that?
No, it's been around for a long time, but they did a recent announcement being like, it's public domain, so that people know where to go.
I look at weird videos, and I know people are often like pulling them out.
Well, that's awesome. Sweet. Okay, I'm
excited.
Anyways,
yes, they were great astronomers, and they could predict such events. So I thought it'd be cool as a coffee maker to kind of perfect your art and like be precise with the picking and the harvesting of the coffee and all that. So I thought the Eclipse was kind of a unique kind of twist to make it a little bit mystical and all that.
All right.
So yeah, dark, mystical, artistic, and honest. And I kind of made a little hierarchy of information that
Do you usually just keep that in notes or something on the side, or do you
Yeah, usually, yeah. Either sometimes the client sends it to us, or sometimes we gotta figure out what needs to be the most important thing or the first read when you see the package. So maybe this is just some things to kind of keep in mind.
Awesome. All right, I'm excited to see.
And I kind of wrote a few descriptions for names that we could use.
Okay, sweet.
So
I'll try to think of some space puns while I'm looking at this list.
Yeah. So I'll just go over. I'll keep going over this. I made a little mood board so you guys can kind of see the type of coffee shop it is. Something with kind of dim lights. Cool people walking by or coming in.
Okay.
Like skateboarders. People with unique perspectives. Maybe they host sometimes music events in their shop or art. They make it into an art gallery, something like that. That'll be fun. And then the art of making coffee, crafting it. So yeah, this is just some brands that are around, maybe that we are kind of maybe competing against.
That's sweet. Okay.
So yeah, just pull a few coffees around here that I think are pretty cool.
I've definitely bought Ritual coffee before just because of the packaging, because it's red and kind of sits in the middle of all these, everything else usually has a really neutral organic feel, and this one I was just like, hello.
Yeah, it's kind of out there, their packaging and how they set their shops and stuff.
Oh, what's up, Rob?
So here it is.
Awesome.
Kind of a little inspiration mood board. Obviously it's pretty spacey and just kind of looking at things that happened during the eclipse. I thought this image is really interesting.
It almost also looks like coffee.
Yeah.
The eclipse itself.
I didn't think of that.
I've done series before where I put galaxies into coffee cups, which is a super fun.
Cool.
If your coffee shop needs one, let me know.
All right. Yeah.
But yeah, it does kind of mimic coffee in the ring.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally. And I thought of that actually. But anyways, I thought this was kind of an interesting shape and how they show the faces of the moon while the eclipse is happening.
Sweet.
So maybe that's something that we can bring in, or maybe this kind of outer ring kind of light, and then I really like to bring in.
We can do the phases of the brewing, so the strength of the coffee. Maybe a full moon is you should only have one cup or you're gonna have a heart attack. But a mini moon is a new moon is it's not too heavily caffeinated.
Yeah, I like that. And then. So I brought in some, usually my process,
sweet.
people that have seen my work or have... the GoPro.
Oh, the GoPro? How do I just...
And then you will watch the feedback. Are you ready, Victoria?
I'm ready. Let's check it out.
Cool. So I just brought in some kind of inspiration, the stuff that I usually go through, some just resources. I have a bunch of books and just brought a few that kind of... to kind of show people these images that you were seeing on screen were taken from the books, just kind of inspiration. I'll just flip through this. There's some really cool stuff here. Just kind of bookmark a few pieces that I thought were interesting takes. Maybe this could be the faces of the moon, things
awesome.
like that. Let's see, what else do I have?
Yeah.
Here? So yeah, just a bunch of inspiration, great resource, packaging book.
What is this book called?
This book is it's called...
It's got that nice
packaging.
old book smell.
It's by Graphis. They made a bunch of books back in the days.
And do you just collect these?
Yeah, I collect. I've been collecting books for a while.
Yeah.
I have a bunch of stuff, but yeah. Lots of cool stuff here. Just kind of quickly browse through this. You guys can see.
Rob can see that the studio is switched. We used to be on the other side, but now they flipped it the other day.
Cool. Yeah, and just a bunch of stuff here. I kind of pulled it over here, but I'd like to show you guys a few books actually. This is probably my favorite packaging book. I think it was curated by Wayne Crowell.
And how old is this book?
I think they're from this is from the 60s.
Yeah, I was gonna say from the cover.
Yeah,
it seems very 60s.
Yeah, and what's funny is that a lot of the stuff here looks extremely modern, and
maybe we can put it like this and flip through it.
People are still
sorry, it's shaky. I had too much coffee this morning, ironically.
So anyways, I just thought it'd be cool to show a little bit of this.
Yeah, this is awesome. Sometimes, you forget to go back to sampling,
Yeah.
the traditional
Yeah, and
methods.
I mean, I also use internet resources like Pinterest and other sites like that. But anyways, this is a great book.
All right, should we flip
And
it
then
back? Oop, wait, one more.
I also pulled this one just because this one it's more of like experimental stuff that could be
Oh,
kind of
sweet. It almost looks like old
inspirational.
school, like what glitch art is
Yeah,
now.
and a lot of stuff kind of reminds me of Eclipse. Just kind of look through this stuff for like graphic approaches to
That's awesome.
showing things like that. So
Sweet. And then you like scan these and put them in your
No.
your mood board. No?
I just
Oh,
took
you
a
just-
photo with my phone. Yeah.
Okay,
And
cool.
It's just a quick reference. It's nothing that we're gonna be referencing directly. Just kind of sometimes.
Just kind of gathering your mind.
Sometimes just to get inspired, like maybe this pattern could be something we could use, but other stuff is just like that looks really cool. I want to do something.
What is who is that book
that.
curated by again? James asks.
Wim Crowell, yeah, somebody wrote it there.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Thanks for doing the work for me.
And so I think that's that for our mood board kind of brief
Awesome.
thing.
So we're just gonna like dive right in.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Sweet. Okay, so we've got some. I like that you do all caps, and then you also do title case
Yeah.
and.
So this is just something I put together real quick. I have this kind of mock-up thing that I like to place things on there as I'm designing. Kind of helps me visualize what this is going to look like, and
Okay.
it just gives me a better representation. And I just kind of pull some of those kind of spacey galactic images and quickly just sample colors for possible color palettes.
Have you ever used Adobe Capture to do the palettes?
I haven't.
There's a mobile app now where you can take a picture or like a live camera and just like put it around a room or on a photo, and it's
Yeah.
going to pull color schemes from it and then automatically send them to your Adobe account. So you'll have it in your, what is that little panel called?
Libraries.
Yeah, the
Cool.
libraries,
Yeah,
which is super cool.
I'm just getting used to this. All this, new features here. I'm a kind of an old school guy. I tend not to upgrade my software and
Yeah,
stuff.
once
soon.
you go
Yeah.
CC though, it's hard to
Yeah.
go back because they keep it fresh.
But today, so I'm gonna try to use only Typekit fonts,
Okay,
which I've
cool.
never used before. So hopefully this goes well. I don't know a lot of the fonts that are available there. Some of the stuff that I was looking for wasn't there, but some stuff was,
Yeah.
and just kind of went through some stuff that was probably usable. So
Okay, cool.
normally I'll start with just sampling different fonts and
Yeah.
just lay it out in all caps, capital letters, and then lowercase, and then just kind of go through this and start picking all the fonts that I kind of selected on.
So we're gonna go with something like sort of like NASA
Yeah,
feel, since
yeah.
we're like talking about space.
Yeah,
so
I
much.
kind of want it to be super clean and
It's probably a sans serif, you think?
yeah, I'm open to exploring some serifs as well.
Sweet.
But I'm just gonna keep going through this.
Like this. Which one is that?
This
It's
is
hard to see because it's a tiny. Oh, I can see it bigger on here.
yeah, it's super tiny. Presikav.
Oh, sweet. It sounds sort of like Russian, maybe.
So I don't know if I have all of them here.
Which the
but-
Russians are quite good at space exploration. So I could be why like even NASA's fonts sort of go towards that
Yeah, it's true.
that style. So are there any other graphic designers in the house right here in the chat? Do you guys have any package design work that we could take a peep at? I always dreamed of being a designer that gets to do tactile things, but I ended up being a UX UI designer / photo weirdo. So it's nice when you can. I haven't like made anything and held it in my hand since college, probably. Allison McGrath. We got Rob. Who else is in here?
So I'm just kind of organizing it by sans serifs and.
Okay. My like process is so chaotic. I like literally, it's like I throw fonts up.
I
in
normally
my-
have I normally have a document set up like this, And then I just go and do the find and replace thing, and I replace the upper caps and all that with like whatever brand I'm working with.
Strangely enough, I've never thought to lay it out with all the type options, like case-wise, which now I'm like, what have you been doing, Victoria? Like,
I'm just going to make this a little bit bigger.
It's nice when you're in Typekit that you can actually type in the word that you're kind of searching for to...
Yeah, I actually enjoyed kind of going through it and selecting like wider typefaces and narrower and stuff like that. So
I realize now.
That's a nice feature, yeah. Let's see.
I'm really drawn into the center one.
Yeah, it's a nice.
It's got like it's really crisp.
I like the geometric look of it. So,
which one is this one?
This one is Stolz.
Wait, I can see it.
Oops.
Stolzel.
My screen is super tiny. Yeah.
I'm not a Suitcase Fusion fan. It crashes computers all the time. Everyone's got their own. I love that. But everyone's got their own like processes. I live in chaos. I design sandwiches. Nice.
I think it's nice to have a document already set up, so you kind of skip through this process. But since I never used Typekit,
yeah, you can sync. Typekit now syncs with Creative Cloud, so everything as you're going in, you can pick fonts from the website, and then it pops right into your whatever you're working on, which is fantastic. And it's also nice because when you're in the character panel, you can actually just filter it so all you see is Typekit fonts instead of most of us have way too many fonts. So sometimes it's
you can
a lot of scrolling
font
that we used to have to do to remember where you're at. Oh, I like this bottom one too. It's so funny when you start to like get bombarded by all of them.
Yeah. Let's see, what else do I like here? So I'm trying to pick
Are these your favorites now, or are you just like pulling down?
I'm kind of copying and pasting some of the ones that I think will work. I'm trying to pick some stuff that is extended and some stuff that is condensed, because I'm just kind of, I guess for this first
What's your favorite font in general? Do you have one?
Do I have one? I don't know. It's.
I remember when I went through my Bebes Noy phase. I feel like every new designer goes through a phase where they use that font like nonstop. It was 2010, 2011. I'm trying to think of my favorite one now.
Each year has a typeface.
Yeah. Well, now I'd say I'm like stuck in the Google fonts.
Yeah.
But that's because I've been doing UX UI, and so the web. It's just they're so nice. What about you?
Yeah,
do you have like a
I
favorite?
Normally just I every time I just start with like the classic stuff, like accidents, like Trade Gothic, and just go through like Clarendon and like just kind of basic stuff, and then assign design, and you'll see I'm just gonna pull a bunch of stuff and start experimenting.
Yeah, of course you can keep grinding.
And then if I need to replace a font at some point and kind of like in the field, maybe I'll look for another font that's similar, maybe has better features, but I just kind of start with whatever I have. I just make a selection of like serifs, sans serifs, and like just start exploring with it to see what
awesome
can come out of that. And then again, like if I need
to replace. Do you
replace,
always work in Illustrator? Someone just asked.
Yeah.
Gothic.
Depends on what I'm doing. I use Photoshop for images, and I go back and forth. I'll be using Photoshop too.
In design sometimes.
I use InDesign, for larger documents. I
don't use InDesign as much as I used to, though. I mostly do use, for work like this, I use Illustrator quite a bit. Just because you can lay everything out on the artboards, which now Photoshop has artboards, which is super fun, but I just got so used to also everything here is vector-based.
Yeah.
Or make it so big, or make it super small.
I play around a lot with bitmap images, and I go to Photoshop and distort them and do all kinds of things to it.
I feel like that lobster font's got to be a joke.
It's a joke. It's funny.
I was like, no way. No.
For me.
I've been into Gotham Rounded a lot recently, too, but that's with my neon pieces. That seems to be the font in thin that works really well to fake a neon sign, if you guys need to. Lobster is good. I'm surprised did someone write Comic Sans yet? I feel like that's usually in there.
This is coming.
There was a designer that redesigned all of the classic logos with Comic Sans, though, which was actually a really funny project. So, like the Coke logo and everything else. It was pretty funny. Oh, man.
So,
Nice.
I'm gonna save
Oh, yeah. I'm going to check
before it's too late.
the Adobe Live Twitter. So, hashtag Adobe Live
Here.
latest. Yeah, let's see.
That's how you get that.
On Twitter, it'd be sweet to see what some of you guys are working on. If you guys are working on any design projects right now. I use both. I actually don't have a day job anymore, but I used Sketch, but Adobe XD is super, super awesome. I'm just waiting for style sheets to come through. So I'm kind of all over the place. I still use Illustrator as my #1 UI software for creating websites, though. Papyrus. All right, sweet. So is this the... We're
Yeah.
getting into the selections now?
Yeah, and actually, I brought some sketches that I made.
Oh, see? Nice. Let me, GoPro. Here, we'll lay them down right here. Oh, nice. See, I like this. This is like showing so much more of the process.
Kind of exploring a little bit of what I could do with the name. Maybe breaking it down.
Oh, these look like the math equations, sort of?
Yeah, I actually started looking like that, and I was like, no, but that's probably a bad idea.
Because then someone who knows math is going to
Yeah.
be like, this is not what this does.
So I don't know, maybe playing with like a half moon shape and like maybe a little monogram, a little icon to add here and
So
there.
with these simple shapes.
Yeah, and just kind of looking at the faces of the moon when during the eclipse and all that. I thought it'd be a cool thing to integrate in there.
Yeah.
What else? Let's see. Just a bunch of like circle moon-like shapes. Maybe something that goes around, and then maybe just little lockups and things like that I'm gonna start doing with type, which is why I was kind of looking for like condensed and extended, and like that's where I start to play with little lockups and fun things that make it look kind of premium.
Yeah.
It's a premium brand. Another thing that I thought was cool related to the Eclipse is this tool. I guess they use the astronomers use all the time, and I guess I'll bring it in later. But astronomers used to look at the sky.
This thing?
And yeah, it's like a really old tool, so I thought it'd be cool to kind of bring it in for like one of the ideas.
Yeah, this is awesome. So do you take pictures of these and put them on your computer
No,
or scan them?
If it's a more detailed illustration, then I probably would. But for this, it's just kind of just sketching, before I jump on the computer and do it, just to see if it'll work or not.
Awesome.
Some of the things you start drawing, you're like, oh no.
So do you think you're going to actually draw out these phases of the moon, or do you
Yeah.
think you're going to just like download like a vector?
I'll probably just trace it over an image or see.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I guess we're going to jump right back into it, and maybe we can pull up that, what is this thingamabob
Yeah,
again?
I can pull that. I think
Thingamabob?
it's called the backstaff.
The back
It looks pretty sciencey, and I have no idea what it does, but hopefully somebody will
Tell
like it.
us.
This is so cool.
Backstaff.
So yeah, this is the
Ooh, I accidentally peeked into the future.
Huh?
Dun, dun, dun.
yeah. It doesn't matter. It's just
That's
Oh, this is so cool. Okay.
yeah. So maybe I thought it'd be kind of cool to
$6.
detail, show this as a little icon.
I guess you align it with the horizon
Mhm.
and the stars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I have another image. Let's
Nice.
see.
This is
So
so
I think,
cool.
yeah, I think
Oh, here
the
we go.
sun
Yeah,
is
sun.
there, and then
This seems like a really big machine to... Now we have like apps that show you exactly
Yeah.
where all the constellations are.
yeah.
Whew.
It's something about this kind of.
Elaborate
smartphone.
selfie stick.
It's an old smartphone.
An old smartphone.
Oh yeah. Something about this kind of made me think of like the crafting of the coffee and like how meticulous it is. And all
Yeah,
that. So,
awesome. This is really cool to see this whole process of like what the mind needs to go through to start really establishing, because this is a full spectrum of branding. It's logo, it's color, it's the full identity.
yeah. So and I'll be pretty brief with the logos. I'm not going to spend a huge amount of time doing them because I want to get to the packaging part. And
Yeah.
this is kind of crazy. This is like the craziest deadline I've ever had to design something in 6 hours. So bear with me.
But you have clients that are like, I want this and I want
Yeah,
it now.
definitely. Yeah.
Or we're going somewhere else.
Yeah.
It happens.
So let's see. What do I have here? I'm just gonna start with something like this, maybe.
Sweet.
Space it out.
So you're with the shortcuts though.
I try, yeah. So
I have some I use, but I don't use all of them. I wear like maybe some Rocky music in the background if we were allowed to use the rights to it.
Yeah.
Imagine this. So it's
Want to
legal. I don't even remember.
Is it Eyes of the Tiger?
Yeah, it's just because of the 6-hour deadline. You just start like sweating.
my type tool disappeared somehow. Where is it?
Awesome. I definitely love this typeface you picked.
If something explodes, you call.
Okay.
Where did it go?
Gotta keep checking this. 4 new results. The Comic Sans project. Okay, what's going on, guys? So I'm actually, in a couple minutes, I'm gonna pull some of these things up. So if you guys keep sharing on Twitter under hashtag Adobe Live, I'm gonna look at, maybe some examples of people's design work. Someone just I referenced earlier this Comic Sans project where all these logos are redone in Comic Sans. So maybe we'll like take a peek at that because it's really funny. Someone writes optical or metric when setting type.
I do optical.
Optical?
Yeah. I didn't even click it right now. Let's see.
There's always one troll.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, someone was making silly comments and got banned. Welcome to the internet.
That's awesome. Where did that go? Oh, I'll worry about it later.
And which typeface? This is Termina? Or is it 2 different typefaces or 1?
It's the same typeface. Yeah, I've never used it, so that's kind of a
really
nice
pretty.
feel.
Yeah.
Looks techy. And I'll go in later and maybe do a little bit of kerning on it.
Oh, someone says Command T for the type tab. I always forget the
Yeah,
shortcuts.
I kept pressing it, but it somehow was like hitting outside the page. But yeah. Oops.
Oh, did you hit tab? It's a glass. Whoops. I do that all the time. Or not tab. What is it? The weird little squiggly guy.
Yeah.
Someone
My
says, how
screen
about
is,
putting a dot under the O instead of the line? Oh, we got some...
I kind of like using a little line here. But.
Oh, I see. I know what they're talking about. I think I've seen that before, the little square. What brand does that, though? I'm trying to think. What other sites do you look at for inspiration other than Pinterest? I do Dribble sometimes.
Yeah, Design Inspiration or...
Yeah, Design Inspiration's good, but
Behance,
they don't
nice,
always
too.
credit artists. So I've like had my stuff in that feed before,
Uh-huh.
and then it gets reposted a million times without any credit.
I guess it just depends on whoever uploads the image, and I think they're the only ones that can change the
Who else
credit.
does
But
it? Behance is a good source.
Yeah,
I like to
Behance
look.
is
They
fun.
used to do what was it called? Hold on. They had now it's called under Discover. You see stuff, but it used to be like Typography Served and stuff like that, which used to be like my favorite. I also go to art blogs all the time, and I follow a lot of weird like art curators on Instagram, which has always been fun because they're always kind of doing all the work for you.
my type
Designed
tool
by committee.
is hidden
Oh
again.
yeah, I can't. What is it? Bow House. Yeah, I've used them before too. This is cool. I will say that from my history of design, I always get so frustrated designing logos.
Yeah, it's kind of a process.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's. I mean, for me, doing this is kind of crazy because normally I wouldn't show people what I did in like 2 hours.
Yeah, of course. I mean, we've got a couple days to kind
Yeah.
of build it out, so the pressure is on.
Yeah.
What is your creative process to get out of creative block? So, do you just keep making stuff? Like, just...
No, maybe just stop doing it for a little bit and come back later.
Yeah.
I don't know, doing other things that don't involve thinking.
Do you ever have, like, a eureka moment? Like, where you've left a project for a while, and then you're like, I gotta get right back right now. Yeah. Those
Yeah.
are my favorites.
I've had that, and, sometimes it's...
Oh, we could also put, like, a little moon down there, I bet. Under the D.
Yeah.
Or maybe the D... No, because then it would look like a C. I was gonna say maybe the D could be a half moon.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to make this too important. It's just going to be like a little... Just trying to play with like little
Yeah,
lockouts
of course.
and
We
things.
just got, people are no pressure. People are so funny.
Who's that? Oh, that's my coworker, Kelly.
What's up, Kelly? Let's see what else is here. Favorite sites for downloading fonts legally.
Yeah. Yeah, just my fonts or
My fonts. Yeah, I do Font Squirrel sometimes, but don't misspell squirrel because then it takes you to a weird.
Isn't that more
site.
for like web stuff?
Yeah, it's because I was a web designer.
Yeah.
So I didn't. But
Yeah,
there
well,
are a lot of they've got a lot of options. The idea behind it is that for the most part, you have to read the fine print, but all the fonts on that site are free fonts available for commercial use. And they're kind of sprinkled all over the web. So some are like definitely.
Yeah, actually, I remember that. Yeah, I've done some stuff for web like that. Picked some fonts from there.
Do you have any favorite designers?
A lot of old school stuff. I obviously love Wim Crowell and like the Swiss Design and Paul Rand and Albin Lustig and all the classic designers.
Ooh, here's a good one. Someone asks, any advice on pairing a subline with a main logo type?
Subline with a main logo type? I mean, it just
I
depends.
usually just eyeball it.
Yeah, I mean, you can measure, the cap height of the logo and maybe reference that, but usually it's just more optical, whatever. I don't know how important it needs to be.
Yeah.
It's different for every occasion.
I mean, if any of you guys are doing it right now, it'd be fun to see. I mean, if you've got time, what your interpretation of this brand's logo might be, and put it on #Adobe Live on Twitter. I'm peeping it. I'm seeing all the stuff, and maybe while.
What is that, Twitter?
Yeah.
Are people sending references? Or?
Well, some people are sending their portfolios, but someone they sent the Comic Sans one, so maybe we can switch to my computer really quickly, and we'll just do a little walk down a funny a lane while we're can you guys let's see what we're oh god, are we in the darkness? Here we go. Did I plug it in correctly? Plugged into mine?
Let's see yours.
Are we not in HDMI?
Plug it in.
Or is this the right one? There's lots of cables.
Two should work. Let's
Oh,
try
wait.
this one.
Technical difficulties. Did that one work? Maybe my computer just... Oh, I might actually have my screen set up funny. So, if
Okay.
you see it now?
Yeah.
Hello. Okay, so this is welcome to my computer. What else do we have here? I'm just going to exit out all these things. So, all right, back up here. So the Comic Sans project, Julia shared this. Thank you so much, because this is what I referenced earlier. So, this person has a really funny project where they're the defenders of Comic Sans. We fear no fonts and we will make the whole world Comic Sans, because Helvetica is so 2011. And so they go through and sometimes they have submissions and they make, the Supreme one's really funny. They make all logos with Comic Sans. Oh god, the Levi's one is bad. Paramount actually doesn't look that different to me.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. MTV, that's a good one. I like the context. Ugh, Nintendo's bad. So funny. Yeah, I know. Leo, my crying Leo background. So for those of you who are also disastrously unorganized, if you make a funny desktop background, you're going to be more motivated to keep your stuff in folders. And so on mine, I have Leo crying. And the more work I have, the more folders I have. So the more tears I also feel. That's how that works. I've seen some really funny ones, though. Oh, yeah, I've seen these ones. The FedEx one's really funny. All right. H&M. Oh, God. Yeah. Oh, wait, here's the NASA one, though. That's what I was going to leave it on. So that's so funny.
Yeah, that is pretty awesome.
The NASA logo with
That
Comic
needs to be a
Sans.
t-shirt or something.
Let me see. What else do we have in this right now? Look at some of these portfolios.
Did somebody
really
make
quickly.
that? Somebody that's on the chat made those logos?
No, it's a project and you can submit to it. So it's been going on for a while, but I had mentioned it and someone pulled up the this is the the Behance My Portfolio thing. I haven't actually used this yet, but I've been thinking about it. It looks really cool. All right, so maybe I'm going to click Pixography brand mockup. I'm gonna take a look at this because this kind of. All right, cool. And so this is branding that Noelle did. And is this is Noelle still in the feed? This is pretty cool. Did you do is it your actual signature? I like these. This is definitely one of those comps that you can download, and it'd be cool to see all this stuff printed and then put actually into, like, photographed. Purples, I will say, though, are hard on the web. Dark purples for visibility. And I think this is a little bit off-centered. Interesting. And I'm assuming that this is, like, the inspiration maybe is like a shell? Or is it just film? It kind of reminds me of, like, a seashell, though.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Cool.
Oh, wait, yeah, cool. I'll open some of these up in tabs. I'm always, like, fearful of opening things on live video and having something horrible happen. Or what happens if you Google the wrong thing. Had that happen quite a few times as well. Awesome. Oh, this is cool. It was a nice little break. It's like, you know when they do the cooking channel stuff where all of a sudden we could just, like, pull another laptop up and then you've got, like, all the things that are already baked?
Yeah, that would be nice.
It's like, hello. And we're going to pull this laptop out of the oven.
So
and here's the
minutes,
logo that's been baking for 20 minutes.
Yeah, just kind of going through, getting the feel of different typefaces and see.
Yeah, this is nice. This looks like a fashion brand logo to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's too serious. Yeah, it doesn't look
But it's nice because you kind of have to work those things out and figure out what works. Because this is also a younger brand, right? We're appealing to.
Yeah, I'm just gonna quickly see if, like, maybe chopping the stars would do something nice.
Ooh. And what tool are you using right now? Just the pen tool?
I'm using the pen tool.
And is this live text still, or so you're just drawing a white
I'm just drawing
circle?
over it,
Okay. I thought you were erasing it.
Actually, I could. That would be faster. Let's see. Outline this.
We made an outline. Now we're just going to experiment with the serifs.
Oops. Where did my eraser go? I rarely use the eraser. Where is it?
Oh, the lorem ipsum default thing's a new thing for me too. Is that in the last week or two that started happening? Where every time you make a text box, it autofills with dummy text. It's pretty cool, especially when you're doing, like, the process with layouts and web and print design. It's nice to just not have to copy and paste from loremipsum.com.
We can go back in this and fix it if it works. I'm just gonna quickly.
Got a hello from Panama. Nice.
Hello.
So you're almost kind of, like, eclipsing parts of the font.
Yeah.
Which is kind of interesting. And so how often is this process usually for you playing? How many rounds of going through and experimenting with typefaces do you usually do before you kind of hit what you're going for?
You mean, like, for, like, just normal process for working and?
Yeah, like, do you find now that you have, all of this experience,
like,
it happens quicker, or?
No, I think experimenting it's always nice to have time to just go and do it, because, like, you can get creative blocks and then, nothing comes out, and just gonna send that out. Yeah, it has kind of a interesting look. Maybe we can go back and clean it up later.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like, spending time on things it's nice, because and the way I work, we always experiment and just try a lot of things. I try not to spend too much time doing one particular thing, because if you spend, like, if you're using a pattern, it's probably faster if you just grab something from the internet, quickly drop it in, see if it's gonna work or not, rather than spending time to do a pattern and then see, like, oh, this doesn't work, and then you spend a bunch of time that it's not gonna work. But so yeah, just try to, like, do things quickly and see if it's feeling right, if it's
have you ever found that you reach something you like here, but then when you add color to it, your perception of it changes, so you have to go back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just,
Someone writes cool without serifs.
Cool.
Nice. And so you would go back in that, and would you leave it like that, or would you go in and like really like get in?
No, I'll probably go in and like clean it up, make sure it looks like a real typeface.
Yeah.
Whoever designed this font is probably gonna hate me.
Do you use a type management tool?
Yeah, I use Font Explorer.
Oh, okay.
Or no, yeah, was it? No, actually, I switched to Font Explorer. I used to use the Linotype one.
Okay, cool.
But is that the Linotype?
Someone writes, Comic Sans is considered a motive for murder in these parts. Poor Comic Sans.
Maybe something.
Is lorem ipsum actually Latin? It's a fake language.
Is it?
I thought it was.
I don't know. I always thought it was Latin.
I could be wrong.
Greek.
I thought that they just wanted to be careful with making sure that you don't write inappropriate things. Someone writes, I honestly feel like Javier because my design process is exactly like that.
Who's that?
Oh, you know what I'm thinking? No, it's Sigaros, that band, that entire language that they sing in is.
Oh, yeah. Is it?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know that.
It is dummy text.
It's not real.
I don't know. I'm trying to see if it actually is based in something. No, yeah, it's rooted in classic Latin literature, but I still call it dummy text. So interesting. Did you guys used to go to loremipsum.com? Lipsum.com, actually, is what it is. I used to use that all the time.
Was it to
Yeah, where you can just generate it and then, like, paste it. It's a very circular O's to emphasize the eclipse of the sun.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, and some, like, this one is a little bit more condensed, so try to choose a typeface that was a little bit close to that. And again, I've never used most of this. I think this is a Bodoni. It's like a different version of Bodoni that I have.
Oh, nice. So you kept a live version next to it before you
Yeah,
outlined
I'm going
it?
to go back and clean that up later if I want to move forward here. But I'm just trying to see where it works with what.
Oh, Little Ipsum. Good to know. Yeah, now it's automated so much in most of the programs. It's gotten a little easier. I like that Bacon Ipsum. There's less and less sites and apps you have to go to get to your final result now, where you used to have to kind of pull things from all over the place. A lot of the programs are now making it more automated, so you don't have to go all over the place to get what you need.
I think this is going to look like some sort of math equation, but I thought it'd be cool too.
Do you guys like that it does the copy automatically? Or do you prefer when you just have an empty box when you start out? I'm pretty sure you can probably toggle it on and off in preferences. It surprises me still every time it happens because it's a newer feature. So I haven't, since I stopped working full time, I haven't been in Illustrator as much as I used to be, because I used to mostly be in there for client work. But
yeah, I mean, this is pretty embarrassing, but I literally just
the Pathfinder tool?
upgraded Illustrator before this because I wouldn't want to show people that I'm still using. I think it was a 2015 version.
Oh God.
So
I love Pathfinder.
That's how up to date I stay with my.
So I saw one time back in the day, you guys remember Google's I'm Feeling Lucky button, where you just click it and it randomly took you places? Someone did that with the Pathfinder tool, where they just took out this and just put I'm Feeling Lucky, because so many designers don't know what each little button in it does. Which I thought was hilarious. I got really used to it because with iconography, I started using it all the time. So I know, how each thing works. But I remember in the beginning, you really do just kind of like button mash to figure out which one's going to give you the effect you want as you're layering vector shapes on each other. Well, I even like it on the black.
Yeah,
it's
I was thinking,
fun.
but I'm using black back. Maybe it doesn't matter. just go with this for now.
Oh, someone writes EC stands for Eric Clapton. Something to think about, maybe. Oh, people like the copy. I
What
do the
copy?
the automated lorem ipsum.
Yeah, I think it's nice. I just started, like I said,
It's always
I
just like
updated
surprise
Yeah.
every time I see it. So right now, for people who just tuned in, we are doing the identity, the full identity, including the logo and the color scheme and
Yeah.
typefaces and package design for a coffee cup, or not a coffee cup,
brand.
a coffee brand called Eclipse Coffee. So
Tasty.
Pathfinder is a mystery. So yeah, we're getting into it. And if there is an Eclipse coffee out there, you're going to be very lucky if you stumble into this stream. I need to spend more time going back to actually drawing things out in a tangible sense and then bringing them. I do
Actually-
everything on the computer now.
I'm gonna bring in that those two images. Maybe I can draw that and try some options for the logo.
Oh yeah, I'm obsessed with artboards. When I'm doing stuff, I need like 20 or 30 artboards open so I can kind of move things around as I'm developing them.
I normally
I'm not as, it's not, my brain doesn't work that way where I can just like in my mind have the layers and toggle things on and off. It's a lot easier to just like be able to kind of move the whole. I also know After Effects though. It's a similar process where you're shifting the camera everywhere to get what's in view of the object. So I guess my brain's the same way where I'm shifting a camera around the artboards. Yeah, a lot of people think maybe the sea could be an eclipse. That's a good idea.
Yeah, I think I
And then it tapers
have
up.
some stuff that I need to try with it too on my sketches. But I kind of like the idea of bringing this tool to life in this.
Oh, sweet. So you're actually sketching it out right now.
Yeah.
And were you just Googling things and you came upon this image?
Yeah, I just kind of Googled like astronomy tools and I came across this thing and I thought it was pretty interesting.
A view of an actual eclipse. Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. We were looking at pictures of eclipses and we realized how much it kind of looks like the top view of a coffee mug, which was kind of neat. It's interesting sometimes where you're doing things in your mind and you don't actually realize that you're on that path before you recognize it, where it is the same shape as the rim of a coffee cup. Pathfinder is like rolling the dice. No, I swear, if you just practice it, you'll know what it does. It's a great tool. A great way to learn it is to practice making icons. Vector iconography it's an amazing way to learn the Pathfinder tool because you're definitely going to have to use it.
Choice.
Yeah. Are you using a bamboo?
No, it's a Wacom Intuos something.
Okay.
Yeah.
The pros and cons of using a tablet versus mouse?
I personally would never go back to doing stuff with a mouse.
Yeah. I mean,
u-
it's kind of funny that you're able to do so much now with you have two hands completely active doing separate things.
I think it's better for your hand, and I don't know. It just feels more intuitive of how you draw normally. I actually can't draw very well with the tablet.
Okay.
I've never got used to it. I kind of like to draw on the paper, but I think the new tablet does some other stuff, or like you can draw on paper and it'll transfer it as you're drawing it.
I've been using the iPad Pro with the Apple Pencil, which has been, it's kind of amazing. It also has pressure settings, so it actually does have that feel of when you're actually using, it's got a tactile feel to it, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Which has been cool. And I have to use the undo button all the time because I have hand tremors, so like I would use a gajillion sheets of paper if I was trying to sketch things out, but luckily I can just hit undo when I'm sketching on an iPad because 9 times out of 10 my hand's going to just like flail and do something weird and then I'm gonna have to start over again. The shape builder was my greatest enlightenment. Nice, Joshua. Yeah, carpal tunnel. Does anyone else out there starting to have issues with that? I've started to getting shooting pains this past year because I've been doing I actually have been editing with my trackpad on my computer, which a lot of people were a little shocked at when I had my live stream. But it's so I can steady my hand because I have tremors.
Yeah.
Where if I'm holding a pen, my hand goes all over the place.
My screen is super tiny.
Yeah, most people went pen. Yeah, this is a. Oh, and you're adding line work now.
Yeah, I'm just trying to. I think I'm gonna keep some like dashed line to kind of make it look sciencey.
You're doing a really good job eyeballing it. I usually have to have the image underneath and actually sort of do like like tracing it with the shapes on top.
This image doesn't seem to be very precise anyway, so I figured I'll just wing it and just try.
Yeah, since sliced bread. That's funny. If you guys could be a tool in either Photoshop or like if it could be your superpower, what would it be? I would definitely be the patch tool, and I would just like go around like adjusting things that I don't like.
Yeah.
I use that all the time in retouching. I love the patch tool in Photoshop. It's like an awesome lame superpower that I don't have, but I wish I could.
I'm missing the only thing I missed.
Now, are you getting a texture on this? Are you using just regular lines or?
Yeah, I'm just kind of offsetting it.
Oh, okay, because it'd be interesting almost to bring back in some of that sort of hand-drawn feel from what we're sampling.
Yeah.
To have like slightly like
cool,
solid lines, but slightly.
Sometimes.
What would you describe the edges of those sort of like handwritten lines?
The more just organic and like texture. Sometimes I don't draw very good. I mean, I can draw stuff, but I'm not like a crazy illustrator. So sometimes I'll just trace it in vector and then print it out and then just go over it.
Someone writes
with a
that
pen.
theirs would be Command Z. I wish I had thought of that. Undo would be a great tool to have in real life. Goodbye. I'm so sorry. Undo. What was the shortcut with the lines that you were using?
I think I created that myself, but I think you can go into your preferences and go, but it's over on object, pad, offset, whatever.
Command Shift Z would be the evil redoer. Nice. Ooh, liquefy. Well, I feel like that'd just be a mean tool. That'd be a very mean tool to
You can
have.
just liquefy people all the time. That would be awesome.
Oh God.
Let's see.
This is really cool. This would be good for like big signage. I think it would be hard if you brought it into like a little.
Yeah, I'm gonna see. Maybe this
tiny.
detail is too much when it comes down in size. Maybe I'll just reduce the amount of.
I've had that issue sometimes when I'm making icons for web. You make them and they're on a giant screen, and then when you have them like super tiny on the page, you're like, oh well, that was a waste of time because no one can see what I did.
So I'm just gonna quickly mock this up.
As a beginner, what is more important to learn first, Photoshop or Illustrator?
As a graphic designer?
Yeah, it depends on like the output.
Yeah, as a graphic designer, I would say Illustrator.
Yeah, it was funny. In college, I hated Illustrator, but now I'm obsessed with it. And
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with all the programs, though. I would say start doing tutorials of things that are the output you want, and those are going to teach you the tools.
Yeah.
So it definitely depends on what the final outcome's going to be of what you're creating. But I'm a big believer in grinding tutorials. There's so many online resources now. You just Google away and you'll find something you like. It helps if you also only do in the beginning doing tutorials that you like the finished product of, because then you're creating something you're kind of excited about, so you're going to have more of an emotional attachment to that. And usually I find if I like what I'm creating, I'm more likely to remember how I created it. Where if I'm doing something that's very boring, there's a low likelihood it's gonna stay here.
Yeah. What is this thing?
Yeah, there's lots of good. There's tutorials on Adobe Create now. YouTube's a great resource. I have a little bit of an issue with video tutorials because I'm at a point now where I know the products well enough where I get frustrated if I'm only looking for that one thing I can't figure out how to do. and I'm listening to someone talk for an hour trying to figure out where that one chunk
been
is.
there.
So I do this. I like the step by steps. But I think in the beginning, the following something along on a video is a really great way to do it. I say learn them all.
Just gonna mask this. And then how does that go? Yeah.
This is really coming together. I do love to talk.
That's good. That's good because I probably won't talk too much.
It's hard to talk while you're making stuff. I usually have headphones in and I'm kind of like just
Yeah. I have a
In
hard
the
time
zone.
doing two things at once. So.
Do you listen to headphones usually while you work? Or are you just
Yeah, we play music at work, or sometimes people just want to listen to their own stuff, and
Yeah.
I put headphones on all the time too.
There's a company in Brooklyn called Adobe Creative that used to have this somewhat. They do web stuff too. So they had this one person as a side project. They have their own like Spotify where people make playlists, but you can force people to listen to things, which I thought was really funny. So they can override each other and have these like battles, making people listen to like Spice Girls 1,000 times, which I thought was really funny.
Wait, what is this called?
It was just they just internally made this silly program where people got to make playlists and force their coworkers to listen to things.
That's awesome.
Oh, sorry.
I would like to make my coworkers suffer with that.
I don't know when we'll be having the contest. I have to wait for Michael to come back to do that. I don't know where the buttons are for any of those things. Ooh, lynda.com's also good. I've been using Skillshare a little bit too. It's nice because they break the lessons out into chapters, which is cool. Yeah, there's so many resources now. It's crazy how much you can teach yourself just Googling stuff. I also like just, also going in and trying to see if you can figure things out yourself and kind of experimenting with tools.
I don't know if this is looking like the tool. Might be spending too much time, and this is one of those things where you're like, probably shouldn't spend too much time on that.
Will you be at the next Dribble meetup? Do you do Dribble meetups?
I don't, not usually. I think I've done one a long time ago.
Oh, what's interesting is people are arguing about RGB and CMYK here. The weird thing, though, is when I'm doing photography prints on, like, the big photo machines or doing C prints, you actually need RGB to make those work.
What's that?
I was just, like, the print, people are kind of talking about CMYK and stuff and how when, clients deliver the wrong files, you're like, the worst I've had is when you ask a client for a logo file and you ask for the source and they actually give you a JPEG embedded in an Illustrator file. Have you had that happen? Where you're like, this is not just putting in Illustrator doesn't make it a source file.
Or they send you, you ask for source files and they send you a Microsoft document.
Oh, yeah.
That's always nice, too.
Just push all the buttons.
Yeah.
And that's the last time she ever hosted. Just kidding. Let's see what else is happening out here. Let's see. Adobe Live Night Shift. Oh yeah, what I'm going to do is while we're working on this, I'm going to keep an eye on this, but then I'm going to look, if you guys upload your, right now I think like the theme would be more in like the graphic design spectrum, but if you guys have anything on Behance and you want to share it with a hashtag Adobe Live on Twitter, I'm going to open up a couple tabs and take a peek at some of these projects. JPEG and Word. Yeah, I'm sure that we all have some great client horror stories. What's funny now is how often I'll just end up having to Google the EPS. There are so many sources that have the EPSs you're looking for.
Yeah.
Are you snapping to the grid?
No,
No.
I don't. I use Smart Guys.
Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna start looking at these some of these portfolios. Let's see what we got going on here. Launch a war on Microsoft. Creative Cloud Office. I mean, we already like sort of have, if you like wanted to get really fancy, you could just use InDesign all the time. I will say that PowerPoint design and stuff is definitely my least favorite of the spectrum of what you end up having to do
I hate
when
Microsoft.
you were in the agency life. Luckily, you're a director though, so
Yeah.
you probably don't
I
have
used
to
to-
touch
I used
them
to
very
have
often.
to
But in the
use that.
beginning, you used to have to do it all the time.
At my
Or
first
if
job,
you don't have an
we-
intern, you're just like, ugh.
At my first job, we got to do a lot of PowerPoint stuff, and I didn't know how to use it. But when I started switching jobs, every time they asked me if I knew how to use, yeah, I was like, nope, never used it.
Oh yeah, Clients from Hell's a really funny website.
Anyways, so we're just gonna see if this works or not. Just quickly, I think I spent. Too
And do you
much
have
time.
anything that now like is starting to emerge to you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of liking the cleaner look.
I also really like the hyper simplification. It would be interesting to see that the center piece as an actual crescent moon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe there's like some detail we can add and stuff, and I actually I went in and scanned some. I didn't know how crazy we can get here, so I went in and played a little bit with some space looking stuff that maybe we can show later.
Oh yeah. And did you capture these, or are we gonna? Capture
Yeah, I
them
scanned
all?
them.
Nice.
Yeah,
And what kind
so-
of do you have a scanner at home or?
I have a scanner at home. Yeah.
Use the GoPro?
GoPro. Boom. Just giving a little sneak peek at some of this.
Yeah, I got
stuff
a
we've
little
got.
playful with like India ink and just did it all the toothbrush trick and started spraying
Nice.
things. So I'm just gonna obviously
I hope you didn't brush your teeth with it afterwards.
Yeah. And then just kind of like some
Oh,
new
this is a
stuff. So I'll be bringing.
Did you
some
use
of
an
this.
actual coffee cup?
No, I was using like a spray can top. And,
Nice.
Yeah.
Sweet. This is really cool.
So yeah, I didn't know if we could do this here in the studio, so I thought I'd just jump ahead a little bit and did it at home.
Flash forward. Yeah, in the studio it'd get a little messy. I've got ink
Yeah,
in
it
my
definitely
eye.
got messy. So that's a good thing I tried.
Is there an option to turn the artboard view like in Photoshop? I mean, I usually it's always been there where you can just add artboards. I think, can you start with multiple artboards right off the bat though?
Not sure, but
Yeah, I'm not sure either. I usually just slowly add them over time as I'm like taking up too much space on one or the other. Looks like something from Arrival. Yeah, it does. Which it does. It has that kind of like alien sci-fi feel.
Totally, yeah. I just watched the new Alien movie,
oh, yeah.
so
Do you guys have any really great space-themed coffee puns? Because we might be able to use those later. Maybe I'll make a little list of them. I'm a big believer in puns. I try to sell them to brands all the time. They usually don't go with the dad jokes, but I think that they should more often. Let's see what we got going on here. So
anyways, that's just a quick start on that tool, and if it works, I'll just go back and add some detail to it. And I'm gonna start playing with wrapping some type around it. Let's
Sweet.
see what could work on that. Go with this for now.
Space puns, space puns. Blast off.
Oh,
first did the Googling to figure out how to use those little line guys.
I think I just kind of figured it
You're
out.
using 100 artboards? That is insane. That's a lot of artboards. How many gigs is your file? Jeez Louise. So are you making like a book in Illustrator? Is that
Yeah,
what you would
probably.
use 100 artboards for?
You probably want to use something more like InDesign
Hidden
for that.
puns into your designs. Oh, and you used an okay. So this Sherry she likes to do like hidden puns, and so she had a hotel called American Suites, and she used Americana font for the stationery. Sneaky. I had a friend in design school who used to Photoshop a tiny, tiny, tiny picture of himself into everything that he submitted. So it was like a little Easter egg that most people didn't notice, but once you knew that he was doing it every time, you were obsessed with trying to find it. It was so funny.
I think we will give away a Creative Cloud subscription.
Okay, we're gonna do a giveaway.
Yeah.
And what do you think? What should the theme of this giveaway be?
Maybe we should ask what is the name of this tool? The one he's designing.
Oh yeah,
Tool.
what is the name of the tool that has been designed in the middle of Eclipse Coffee Co? That is the theme.
This is not a smartphone.
This guy, yeah.
Oops, I just showed the name.
Oops.
Oops.
And you have your Twitter ready. And go. I don't ever know what the delay is. So I'm like,
Yeah. Go.
I'm ready for it. We got. It'll start sprinkling in soon. It is a funny word. So if you'll
I
see,
won't try to
everyone's
pronounce this one.
everyone's referencing the tool selfie stick. That's awesome. Oh man.
That's a good one.
Oh, it's happening so fast I can't even. Lightsaber. There's some random ones in there. I liked selfie stick. That was really funny. Yeah, it'll yell at you with the all caps. I want to use all caps all the time too, but Nightbot doesn't like it. I got yelled at by Nightbot once. I was like, I'm sorry, please forgive me. Sailors use them for navigating? Oh, that's a fun fact.
Yeah.
I am terrified of the ocean. Complex piece of wood. That's a good one.
Okay, Nightbot. Pick someone, and that's Alicia Hudson. Like this. If you want to pronounce it again.
Alicia Hudson. Hudson? Are you still in the crowd? Congratulations!
She said the name?
Yeah, we have a robot who does all the work for us. For now, until they take over, which is inevitably going to happen. If we watch enough space, future, AI, sci-fi videos.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting. Like, if we move forward with this, people would not recognize it. Like, there's this brewery that I like, Russian River, that uses all these weird tools on their labels.
Yeah.
That I'm always like, what the hell is that? Like, they look like torturing tools and things like that. So
Did they reference what they are?
I don't think they like say anything about it, but reading interviews and stuff like that. He's the guy that founded that company. He's like he likes gardening, so those are like vintage gardening tools. But
Okay.
they look
That's so funny.
Yeah.
The weird thing now is how many people, especially like my sister's about 7 years younger than me, and how iconography that we use on computers now. So you have like the actual like save disk for the save, but most, like my sister's never touched a floppy disk before, so she doesn't know what that is, but she knows it means save. So some of these things that aren't used anymore are sort of preserved with how we've made these icons that you're so familiar with, or the fact that we use folders. And I just like, I haven't used a real folder in quite some time. Let's see. Yeah, congratulations. Woo! Hope you do lots of tutorials. And if you guys ever need to come back and reference what we've been doing today, you can always come back, and they all live on YouTube forever and ever. Yeah, this is pretty cool.
Just trying to find an image that has like a nice thing I can reference. Start playing around with that, the faces of the moon.
Nice. And this is where you're really going to get into the Pathfinder tool. What is the best way to make sure type is centered in Illustrator? I would just say maybe the paragraph and character panels usually.
Center in a normal paragraph, or
yeah, it depends on the context.
Yeah, or like that
in
seal
the grid
I was making, that little circle.
Yeah, would you normally just double check with just pulling a guide
Yeah,
out?
I mean, I'll just use the aligning tools and I'll center the text.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oops.
What's the YouTube channel? Is it just Adobe Live?
Adobe Creative Cloud.
Adobe Creative Cloud. A coffee bean within the Eclipse. That would be a gigantic coffee bean. Or maybe like a little alien coffee bean.
I don't think this
Smart grids are crazy helpful.
Smart grids.
That would also be, I'm really not a coordinated person, so that'd be a great superhero power to have, is to like be able to navigate things with the smart grid, so I wouldn't run into stuff all the time. Oh yeah, let's do some more coffee puns. Let me write these down. So what I'm looking for right now is as many coffee space puns maybe that we can use later in this project. There's got to be some stuff out there.
Even better if it involves aliens.
Oh yeah, also aliens are, we believe. Trying to think, even like isn't that the X-Files?
I want to believe.
I want to believe. I wonder if there's something that we can do with that. That's how I roll. That's good. Smart grits. These are breakfast puns. Let's see. Eclipse. Let me think. Let's see if there's anything here. Yeah, we earlier we have some actual ink. Wonder if they're not blots.
Splashes,
Is it ink splashes where there is sort of a coffee cup stain look to them that we might play with later in the process. I want a bean leaf. That's a good one. Be enough already. Oh, you guys are so good. Take me to your grinder. That's a good one. Yeah, this is awesome. What do you call sad coffee? Depresso? Is it depresso?
Oh,
It's gotta be. Come on.
you found it.
Is it? Don't leave me hanging.
What else could it be?
Oh, yeah, stuff with UFO. Should be careful with that, though, because UFO is that beer company. They have a delicious wit.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah. They're big on the East Coast. I don't see, you guys already have a lot of... Ooh. Houston, we have a latte. No, Houston,
What else do I have?
Houston, we have something. Trispresso. Or what's also the Star Wars? Like a long time ago. Bean me up, Scotty. Oh, come on. You guys are great. Should just do one of these every time we come in beats. That's funny. Bean me up, Scotty's a really good one. Coffee, the other dark matter. I like that. I'm just gonna start doing these every time I need like an Instagram caption. I really love puns, so. Latte bad puns, that's good. Little dripper for slow drip, that's so good. Yeah. High press speed. Oh, that's really good. You guys are killing it right now. Yeah, so we've got like 30 minutes left. I feel like for,
Really?
you know, an hour, I know
Wow.
time flies when you're just
That's
cranking
crazy.
away.
All right. Yeah, so
This is like an amazing amount of progress for an hour and a half on our future coffee company.
I have to speed it up, yeah. Yeah, like that's one of the one things, like if you spend too much time on something and then it doesn't end up working in the end, like it's just a waste of time. So I like to do things quickly and see if it's worth doing or not. Like,
So do you think you're going to pursue it, or are you just going to scrap it?
I think it's cool if I add detail.
Yeah.
I'm still gonna keep pushing it, but I did spend too much time in front of these guys
I
doing
even
that.
wonder if there's a font that looks sort of like constellations.
Mm-hmm.
I've drawn those out before, but like a thin font that sort of matches the thin detail of the thingamabob that I forgot. What's a sextaphone?
What's that?
Whatever the
Sexta.
sexta.
Sextaphone is
Saxophone is not it.
Sextaphone is completely yeah, it's another service.
Beep. Did you hear about the new cafe on the moon? Coffee is out of this world, but there's no atmosphere. You guys are great.
Just maybe.
There's always one really good one you put so much effort into, and they look and don't care. Oh my god, yeah. But then you have to learn how to present things to the client, because sometimes you can trick them into liking the one that you like better. But yeah, for the most part, there will be a long learning curve of clients always picking the opposite of what you're hoping for. But every once in a while, you'll get someone who goes for the really crazy ideas, which is super fun. Hitchcock's profile on the man? That would be interesting. Dark side of the bean. This version is my favorite so far. The one with the actual eclipse above the name. These designs are beautiful. You're killing me. One small sip for man, one giant cup for mankind. That's good too. The mocha way. How often do you have to do things this quickly?
This is the craziest deadline ever,
Sipping
but
into
it should be fun. I think there's stuff there that we can start playing around with in the back. I'm just gonna take this.
Sipping into darkness, that would really hit our goth audience well.
Which is huge.
Yeah.
Huge audience. That's community.
Just gonna start to get a little feel of what the logo is.
Oh, so,
Gonna
and this
look
is where
like.
you're going to start sort of prototyping.
Yeah, I'll just try, see if maybe it's too much detail there, but see if some of those could work.
Good night, brew. It's good. Might have a coffee after this. I'm feeling a little inspired. And where did you get this package material?
This mock-up?
Yeah.
I got it from, I think it's called Yellow.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if it was something you like created yourself or just used
No.
in the past.
No, I mean, yeah. Like I said, those are great resources to have handy, especially when you're presenting stuff. You want the client to kind of get a good feel of what it's going to look like.
Mhm.
At work, we also have this really super crazy talented guy that creates whatever we want, mock-ups for.
Nice.
So any form, whatever we need, he'll just make it for us, and that's kind of how we present things to clients too. So.
Taste the final frontier. That's a good tagline too. Yeah, for the circular text is just along a path. Sip strong and prosper. Oh, you guys, that gets pretty meta there. I'm a very strong coffee drinker.
So anyways, just trying to get a quick feel of it.
A random question about a setting of my portfolio. Yeah, I'm sure someone here can help you. I haven't created my portfolio yet, but I am planning on it. It just seems like since all my stuff's already uploaded into my Behance, it's a lot easier than doing it all over again myself. Do you guys all use Behance? That's where I put my final creations. I usually work on the same things over and over again for like a year or two, and then I'll put the whole batch up.
Just gonna drop something real quick here. Bring in some.
The one all the way on the right looks like it would be in Brooklyn. Yeah.
Oh.
Maybe like carved into like a piece of wood.
So I just dropped in a
Someone
TIFF
goes,
file.
why the sextant? Is it so hard to find copy? Someone needs old school navigation. So the theme for this, oh, that looks really cool.
Oops.
Is that from, did you take a picture of your...
Yeah, that's a scan of the...
Wait, so will you hand me that really quickly and I'll show people...
Yeah. I think I actually...
I'm just gonna like hold it up because we already did the zoom
It
in.
got kind of messy, so I think I just...
This is super cool though.
I think I mashed 2 or 3 of them into one.
We actually have some real... These are not Photoshop textures, people. These were done in IRL. Oh yeah, this one's really cool. This looks really similar. I think maybe this is the one
Yeah, I
that
think
you
it's
used.
that, and then I combined
So this is what we're about to see on the screen. And then you probably, you scanned it.
I scanned it, and I took the best parts from some, and I kind of added this
This is so
this thing
cool.
on the top, like to make it.
And I could see this wrapping around the package a little bit, like kind of
Could
coming
be,
off
yeah.
and like having it sort of take over a little bit of the side. Like,
Yeah.
It's such a beautiful texture. Now I'm automatically like super attracted to the one on the left.
I'm just gonna quickly copy this stuff I have here.
And for those of you who joined later, this is the brief that we were working from for our...
Yes, I'm just take one of the names and start playing with some type over here.
Oh, let me see if I can actually like solve this problem. Yeah, the textures are really beautiful. I've used Adobe Capture a few times to do stuff like that where I'm bringing things in and it also automatically does the tracing for you, and it does a really good job. The tracing has been getting more and more phenomenal with taking things you've drawn out and making them vector files, which is amazing.
Is it? Can you save the actual photo?
Yeah,
Without
it'll
the
usually do
vectors?
both. You can have both, yeah.
Cool.
It's just an interesting tool to kind of get
What
some
I-
of these textures.
What I normally do with this type of images, or I'll turn it into a bitmap,
Okay.
And like I kind of like to keep like all the detail I can on it, so I make it really high res, and then play with that on the computer, just kind of making it thicker, thinner, and stuff like that. Are you designing a logo?
No,
as well?
I was just testing something to double check because someone asked about having multiple styles in the type on path tool, and I just wanted to double check. You can just highlight one part of the text you're using and change the typeface. I don't think you can change the paragraph style because that applies to more than just the characters you're trying to alter, but you can definitely change. Yeah, you can have multiple typefaces for sure. So many coffee shops in Seattle. Yeah. Isn't that's where Starbucks is originally from, right? Seattle? I believe so. Oh, yeah.
Just starting to play with like the actual details that we have to show. Let's see, flavor notes, type of row.
Yeah, that sometimes also bites me if I don't do it early enough in the process, is when you spend all your time doing this one thing and you realize like there's not going to be enough room for all these other things that you need to put on the package. Like, especially with certain industries like pharma, there's a lot of things that are legally required to be on packages.
Yeah.
Or for me, like I have a nut allergy, so like it'd be really nice if everyone always like designed those allergy warnings out. It's nice that they're below all the ingredients, and bold now is a requirement for the most part. What are we talking about in here?
So, just typesetting everything.
This sort of reminds me, there's a granola bar brand right now that does something similar with listing things out. It sort of looks like how you list out a typeface.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it is though. My friend works at one of those fun millennial startups where they give everyone unlimited snacks. I've never had that before. I went and visited the Facebook offices and Instagram, and I couldn't stop eating because everything's free, and they have Baby Bell cheeses and beef jerky, which are both pretty expensive. So I had no self-control, and I ate all the snacks. Yeah, do you have to put nutrition facts on coffee?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it's less strict. There, we could try to do something.
Someone asks,
nicer
what about a more rustic look? I have a feeling right now we're just kind of doing the layout.
Yeah, I'm just kind of setting the type as we go through this and start selecting the ones that are actually working.
Let me see.
I'll probably, I don't even know if this is going to work with this logo yet, like this format, but I'll just typeset some stuff and move it around.
It is RX bars. Yeah. See, you guys are great. You guys are like Google.
Yeah, this is pretty classic approach to organizing the information.
From a marketing standpoint, I would do the light roast bigger.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out where this goes. Right now, I'm just typesetting. Maybe it's like maybe it could be in a different
Aliens
color.
aren't rustic. Good point. Good point.
You start playing around with different types of fonts here. Something more condensed.
Coffee only has coffee in it? Well, yeah, sometimes. I had one issue one time, though, where I went to a coffee place and they had walnut coffee, and I have a nut allergy, so that could have been bad. Luckily, when you're putting something in your coffee, you usually like to boast about it. Have you seen an alien? Maybe they are rustic. That's good. Artisanal aliens. Maybe an alien will come down and drink this coffee.
That would be awesome and scary at the same time. Yeah, maybe you can get more playful with this.
Someone also wrote in the beginning, we were talking about this, using the moons as a strength indicator. Yeah, I think that could be a really fun idea with telling people how strong the coffee is. Would people get it right off the bat, though? How much time do we have left? We're at 2:35.
We're doing good?
Yeah, we're doing good for, like, I can't believe how much you've gotten done in it, like an hour and a half. This is crazy to me.
So let's see, what else can we do here? What else do we need?
How soon do you start, or do you think you're going to stay with like a black and white theme, or do you think you're going to bring some colors in?
I might bring in some other stuff.
I feel like if we did, we could probably play with blending modes a little bit to get actually some of that space imagery maybe in. If we, oh yeah, that's super cool. I'm really obsessed with the textures you made. It does also sort of have that Arrival vibe. I don't know if you've seen that movie.
Oh yeah,
yet.
Totally. And probably every space movie out there, I've seen it.
May the Force be with you. That's good, but like we'd probably get sued if we use that because Star Wars really likes to protect their brand. They do not let people rip it off at all.
Especially now that they're owned by Disney.
What is the name of that crazy strong coffee? I was surprised the hotel coffee kind of got me today. I didn't think it was gonna hit me this hard, but it did. It's probably why I can't stop talking. Are you guys big coffee drinkers?
I am.
Yeah, I can't function without it. People would learn the moon key over time. How long did it take for people to know Starbucks has a two-tailed mermaid on their logo? This is true. This is true. It's always interesting when you do testing to see what people see in the things you design, because you think they're so obvious, but some people really just... Everyone has a very different mindset when taking in information. Let me see. Oh yeah, the CO does do that. I like that you broke the net weight out somewhere else.
Yeah. Usually, most products are pretty strict about, especially like larger companies, about how it's said, and like it's always like this huge and ugly font, and but I think certain things, especially like lower or like smaller clients, there's a little bit more flexibility. Especially if this is not going to like a major store or anything like that. There's a little bit more flexibility in what you do. So I'm just quickly getting the feel of this. Not sure if this is the right way to set the type here, but I thought of breaking the pack a little bit, maybe with the moon thing I did. Maybe the bottom goes to white, or maybe even goes to a good color.
Oh, the color could be really interesting.
Yeah, let's see. Well, we're getting somewhere. What else do we have? We'll try this somewhere.
Is this the name of the coffee?
Yeah, that's the type of coffee, and then it's like roast from Mexico. What else do we got?
I didn't realize that saying things are organic had a whole certification process behind it. And now there's a new thing called biodynamic, which is the new organic, which I'm sure will be hitting all of our
foods
client inboxes soon, because it's you don't have to have it certified, but essentially it's like the next level where you also have to have everything in one ecosystem, like on your farm. So if you have chickens, you have to grow the grain you're feeding them.
Yeah.
I think is pretty much how that works. So it's like organic. So now it's even more expensive to get your eggs.
Yeah. So anyway.
Yeah, the color is really cool. And is that one of the blues you sampled, or did you just eyeball this one?
I just grabbed it from this ballot that I had.
Blues always sort of have that future technology, because in movies, the screens, the UIs, and everything that people are doing, even like back in the day, Minority Report, it's always greens and blues for how these magical, what are they called? When things are just in air and you're boop, boop, boop.
In air.
It's
Augmented reality. No.
what did they do where they had Tupac come out? But it was obviously not him, because
Hologram.
a hologram. Yeah, you're using hologram screens.
Obviously, it wasn't him.
I mean, you never know. There are rumors. There are rumors.
Maybe we can start bringing some details up there. Let's see.
How did the texture copy so quickly in the circle you drew? Like the one with the color in it.
What do you mean?
Is that the texture from the actual paper packaging? You're just using a blending
Oh
mode,
yeah,
right?
I'm just multiplying. I usually work in layers. I keep my mock-ups in the bottom layer, and then in the art layer, I have
Oh, nice.
I made a mask of the pack, and then I dropped like a background color, so that's like a shape, and everything is like pasted on top of that. So like this image is on top of that.
Okay.
So yeah, everything is masked in there, and then the elements here are not set to multiply, but everything, the whole group or the whole mask is set to multiply. So it just multiplies over.
Okay, awesome. And is there any particular opacity with that, or is it all 100%?
No, it's all 100%.
Just okay.
Yeah. So I think that keeps the whites from not multiplying on the black. Let's see what else.
I'm still so like minimalist though. I really, really love the one on the left. I
Yeah,
like the color too,
I'm digging that too. Let's see. I have some sketches here for the packs too. Just trying to see what other layouts I can try.
Oh, nice. So here we have some sketches of layouts, which we were just working out on screen. So here are some alternative ideas that have been jotted down.
Yeah, and I kind of just got started.
I see
with,
this. This is what you sort of started playing with this.
Yeah, I'm just kind of.
This is actually really cool too. I like this quite a bit.
So some of that
with your stamp in the middle.
Yeah, I actually would like to do something that's a little bit more graphic.
And is this
minimal.
like a star field?
Yeah, that's for where I'm gonna drop the other stuff that I scanned. Maybe that one's pretty minimal too, and it has like the whole star thing in the background.
Yeah, someone else mentioned maybe having the moon eclipse wrapping around the package, so it's like eclipsing other sides too.
Like the moon eclipse wrapping
like
around?
Just kind of wrapping. Well, I mean, in this case, we're
like
only
the
seeing the
faces?
front of the package,
Yeah,
but
that would be
like
cool.
down the road.
Yeah, I think I had like some. I wanted to somehow capture movement, maybe like the motion of the moon kind of moving up or something like that. So maybe multiplying shapes or some gradients and things like that could help. So yeah, we'll see
All right.
where this goes. We'll just keep playing around with this. And let's see. I guess I can just show you. I didn't get to prepare.
Oh, there was mock-up at the bottom, yeah. Did you draw a color shape under the splatter? That's
Yeah.
how, yeah.
Yeah, I just kind of went quickly with the pen tool and just draw a quick circle or shape and drop it behind it.
Do the middle far right, please. Oh yeah, this one? Okay. Yeah, there's some favorites in here. This is a really nice way to break things down. I do everything. I would have used a bunch of more artboards for weird things. I just like do everything on the computer. I can't do anything anymore in real life.
I think it just helps me kind of focus on what I'm gonna do, especially for today. Sometimes you just move,
'cause
move
you're,
stuff
like,
around on the
Under the
computer.
gun. Was that a little alien guy?
No,
Oh, he's got like a little face.
it looks like it. Yeah, that we can turn it into it. I thought, since they kind of support to each other with GoPro.
Yeah, let's one more.
One idea. So some of the ideas that I really want to try here are this one, which is maybe showing like the faces of the moon and like kind of a pattern behind it, but maybe it's like a varnish or something subtle. So you see the faces just kind of wrapping around the entire bag. Maybe there's like a color label on top of that. And then this one, the idea is just since this coffee shop kind of supports artists, local artists and stuff like that. Maybe for each type of coffee, they license the art for one of their
that's cool.
the guys that go to the
See,
coffee.
this looked like the alien.
So yeah, it's just maybe dropping in like an artwork of somebody, and then you can just. So that was just the idea behind it, but could be an alien.
It could be.
Let's see. I kind of lost track.
Do you guys in the live chat, do you also sketch things out in like a notepad or on pieces of paper before you work, or do you just jump right into designing? This is helpful. I do this when I'm wireframing and doing like user flows and other design processes for web. So that I don't get too overwhelmed. It's nice to kind of sketch things out a tiny bit, but for the most part, I just jump right in. I think I'm quicker with my computer than I am with my hands and a pen now.
Oh yeah, and I also I like my layers. In the top I have like a little highlight thing that also kind of helps me visualize it a little better. This is just drawn in Illustrator. They're just gradients. And then I locked that top layer and the bottom layer so I can just work on my artwork.
Well, most people use paper. I'm alone.
And I love grouping stuff. So you'll see later on as I start to do this, just kind of, I love that you can like select, like I can select just the logo here. Everything is grouped, so like I can just select that.
Do you know what would be really fun for I mean, there's always issues with legibility, but actually playing with having like a dark ink on a gray dark background, because like the whole Eclipse is an absence of light. So having the logo sort of eclipsed in the Eclipse, like having the logo be darker than the package. Yeah,
we can try that too. Maybe that's for the white option.
Paper, pen, then scan. Nice. iPad Pro. I Nespresso myself. Alright, where are we at for time now? We're down to about a little less than 10 minutes, right? I like to just start designing Microsoft Word. You're funny, Corey. You're funny.
That's my coworker.
Could be a glossy logo. Nice. Yeah. Do you ever so when you're like making prototypes and stuff and you are going to use either like a foil stamp, or do you actually sort of fake them?
Yeah, I'll play with gradients. You can also kind of grab an image of a foil and just mask it.
Yeah.
It looks pretty realistic. But yeah, we always
or
fake
like the
it.
Varnish.
We always fake it for clients. Like for this, maybe I'll do.
Do you actually bring the object to the client, like an actual mini prototype, or do you just do it digital?
No, it's usually it's on screen. I'm just gonna do like some sort
All
of
white background and all black lettering. All great for different flavors. Oh, that would be cool. Ooh, poster contest. I'm excited to see those. Yes, this video will be recorded. It is recorded. It'll be on YouTube. And it'll live forever and ever. You can just come back, watch it every week.
It's better in there.
It just keeps getting better.
Hopefully.
There's secret messages embedded in this entire video that you have to watch it thousands of times before you can figure it out. Ooh, napkins. That's classic. I have done the napkin thing. I still use my iPhone, though. I'll jot down little notes while I'm on the train. While I'm underground, I'll just use the Apple Notes and kind of just write down ideas. Or even some of the apps. I do have most of the Adobe apps on my phone. I like to use them better on the iPad, but that's also because I haven't upgraded to the bigger phone yet. So I'm like the only designer I know that's still using like the little baby iPhone 6. I'll go and hang out with a bunch of people and they all have the huge, what look like mini iPads, but they have the pluses. Until the next Eclipse. I really like this grid too.
Yeah, I think it'd be kind of a nice background, and we could clean it up in some areas to fit the logo or something like that.
Oh, see, I jump right into Illustrator straight up.
Somebody does?
Yeah, no, everyone's saying it's usually the case where you have to sketch beforehand. I just have really shaky hands, so.
If you have the time, it's nice to
Yeah.
to do it. I sometimes just jump directly to the computer if there is no time.
Justin says, thanks so much for doing this. He's learning so much.
Well, glad.
Baby
somebody.
iPhone 6 for life. This is it's fun to see everything on the artboard as it's slowly been processed out. Oh, and I see you've duplicated, and now you're also comping things over. You're keeping all your materials in the center, and do you just put all the design artboards around it, or do you always do like a horizontal grid?
Wait, what do you mean for
Like right now, you've kept, like, for the most part, your information's in the center, but on the two outside edges, you've got the designs.
I don't think I have like a process for that.
Yeah.
It's just kind of how when I add a new artboard, it just adds it to the end. Sometimes I'll like group them or reorganize them. It depends on like what I want. But I normally don't keep this stuff like the type. I don't keep it or this color palettes. I don't
You
keep
just
them
keep it in the beginning stages.
Yeah, I keep it either in a separate document. I just copy the ones I like. And same for the color palettes, or I usually just have stuff outside the artboard all over it.
Yeah.
It gets pretty messy out there.
Adam asks, for assets like the textures you did physically, do you find it helpful to have a library of them, or do you just make them per project? Like these?
Yeah, I always reuse stuff if I have something.
So you sort of have an archive, but you make new things here and there where you have a need.
Yeah, I have like a lot of stuff that I use normally. I can show you guys like some textures I created.
Yeah, if you want for the next, like,
I haven't.
We've got like one more minute, so we can just.
I haven't brought them in, but like this is like a texture I created that I use all the time to
That's awesome.
Like do like gradients and stuff like that are more pixelated. This one is another one. Let's see. This one's just because I didn't have anything like this, and I was trying to capture like a ring on it. But nice. I'll probably save this for some other projects whenever I need it.
Awesome. Well, this has been quite the productive day for an hour and a half, 2 hours, and we're pretty into the design process for what this is going to look like. If you guys tune in tomorrow, we will be back. We'll be getting further down the Eclipse road for this coffee. I'm excited to see what happens, and we've got some great guests coming up next, so stay tuned.
Oh, we can still keep going, right?
Yeah, well, I guess you can. Or we keep going?
You can say goodbye.
Goodbye. Thank you, guys.